Radio, so in music, sweeps are pretty damn freaking amazing. That's why I don't like your chances with selling music. But what do we do exactly? Okay, so I use amplitude primarily. I actually never use frequency at all, but you can use it if you want. I just don't use it because I like everything to be based upon a single tone. So I end up using amplitude, and then I use not downsampling, I use bit depth reduction. But I haven't got a bit depth reduction effect. All I do is I make it really quiet and then I make it loud again. And what does that do? That kind of, it's hard to explain, I don't even understand it, but it kind of like turns amplitude into frequency. It ends up with a whistle. The louder it is, the high pitch, and if it goes into the rare fraction, it becomes, oh yeah, no. Can you see how high frequency turns the bit depth reduction off, and low frequency turns the bit reduction on? Oh yeah. No, it's not in the rarefaction, it's when it's coming close to the center. Oh yeah, so that's got to be what's causing this frequency to appear in it. And then what I actually do is I then add some amount of DC bias to it, and I vary that. So I'm varying, so I get a snare, I'm changing the amplitude across to start with, then I'm putting that bit depth reduction on it, and as it goes quieter, it gets more of the squaring effect than when it's louder. And then I add so much varying DC bias again, using amplitude again, but this time I'm sort of just adding DC to it at different amplitudes. And then that gives me some nice sort of sounds, but then I put one more thing on it after that. I add delays. I add 3 delays of which compound on each other, so I get 2 sounds, then I get 4 sounds, and I get 8 sounds. Yeah. But the cool thing is, I actually I make 1 delay, then I do 2, then I do 2, then I do a bit of plus reflection, and on the first one, I actually just use that just to shift the whole pattern left and whole pattern right on the first delay. Yeah. And that way I get to get the pristine position where the funny sound hits the beat better, which is never exactly on A. There's always a slight difference with the way you want to introduce it. And is that the whole thing? And I blur it a bit with reverb. Another way to look at it is I'm sort of making some kind of chip sound or some old arcade sort of noise, and then I'm putting reverb on it. That's another way to look at it, and I haven't finished doing it yet. But I find, you know, apart from like scientific technique like that, it's important to give it a chance. If you appreciate some smaller version of something that it could have been something, that little thing there that you had to appreciate to understand can grow into something like better.